Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. Many years ago, I had a friend in Hong Kong. He invited me to his home for dinner every time I visited Hong Kong. His wife is a great cook and everything she cooks is delicious. However, there is one dish that stands out, and that is stir-fry cuttlefish. You might or might not have cuttlefish before, but if you have squid, then you are familiar with cuttlefish. It tastes very much like squid. Except for me, I think it is better than squid. It is hard to find cuttlefish around here. Recently, I was surprised to find cuttlefish in an Asian Chinese grocery store. I have never cooked cuttlefish before, but with my fast cooking system, I decided I would be able to figure it out. So I bought some. I freeze them, use my advanced prepping system for chicken. I put about 6 to 7 cuttlefish in a Ziploc sandwich bag. I freeze them in a single layer, so when I thaw them out, they could be thawed out rapidly. I'm going to use my shrimp stir-fry template to stir-fry the cuttlefish. I noticed that they are very similar in the texture, so I need to stir-fry them very quickly to prevent them from being overcooked. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to coat the cuttlefish with about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I think the most important thing for coating them with cornstarch is to protect them against the heat, so that will give me a more leeway in manipulating them without having them being overcooked. The second goal by coating them with cornstarch is that to develop a crispy outer surface. However, I noticed that the texture of the cuttlefish is quite different from shrimp, so I'm not sure whether I will be able to create a light breading. To cook the cuttlefish, I'm going to use vegetables that I have available in my advanced prepping. So with my advanced prepping system, I can cook this dish in a matter of minutes. And so the first thing I do is to thaw out some cuttlefish as soon as I enter the kitchen. So okay, now I'm ready to cook. I doubted that you will try to cook cuttlefish, but this video allowed me to show you how my fast cooking system works. By combining flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking, it allowed me to cook this dish. A couple of weeks ago, my friend Rebecca came to have dinner with us, and I cooked this cuttlefish dish for her, and she really enjoys it because she also loved squid. So she asked me how to cook this dish, and I said I will do a video for her. This dish is really quick and simple, and it takes only about 5 minutes. I use my Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok for this dish. This wok is my everyday wok. One of the reasons that I really like this wok is that it is very light. I can lift this wok easily with one hand, even when there are food in the wok. This wok is so versatile. I use this wok for almost 100% of all my cooking. After the wok is heated up adequately, I add 1 to 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I use canola oil, but you can use any cooking oil that you like as long as it's a high smoking point. This wok has a relatively large flat surface area, so I will rock the wok in order to spread the oil through the flat surface area. It takes about somewhere between 30 to 45 seconds to heat up the oil, at least with the stove that I have. A different stove might behave slightly differently. I watch the oil very carefully for any of the signs that the oil starts to smoke. Once the oil gives the slightest hint of smoke, I know I am ready to cook. If you want to minimize the oil film generated during cooking, you should make sure you do not let the oil to smoke too much. However, if you let the oil to smoke longer, it will provide a better non-stick cook surface. I'm first going to saute some fermented black soybean. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon, and if you are not familiar with it, you can take a look at this video. And the fermented black soybean is perfect for this dish because it provides a sharp contrasting flavor to the cuttlefish. I'm going to saute the fermented black soybean for about 20 seconds. This will give the fermented black soybean a nice char flavor. Next, I'm going to add the cuttlefish to the wok. I'm going to spread them out on the surface of the wok. This is a form of shallow frying because the cuttlefish is coated with cornstarch. Hopefully this will give the cuttlefish a light crispy breading. I use this shallow frying method for different types of meat, that's including chicken and shrimp. I also use this method for certain type of white fish, such as tilapia and bluegills. After I fry the cuttlefish for about 15 to 20 seconds, I turn it around to fry the other side. A cuttlefish is very similar to squid. They can be easily overcooked, so you really have to pay attention. By now, the cuttlefish probably is about 50% cooked. I add some chopped onion that I have in my advanced prepping. The chopped onion has 2 functions. First of all, it will give flavor to the dish. But secondly, it will modulate the heat in the wok. Actually, I have turned the heat to medium-low. A stir fry is similar to any other form of frying, that it will generate oil films. And next, I add some asparagus that I already have in my advanced prepping. Asparagus is a good ingredient to add because they cook very quickly. It usually takes only about 15 to 20 seconds. So by the time when the squid is ready, the asparagus is also cooked. And next, I'm going to garnish the dish with some scallions. Again, I already have that in my advanced prepping. And last but not the least, I'm going to add some color bell pepper. I always have some color bell pepper in my advanced prepping because they're very useful in add color to a dish. But now the dish is done. And from my standpoint, the cuttlefish is cooked almost perfectly. Next, I'm going to season the dish with about 1 tablespoon of a teriyaki sauce by Kindness. I noticed that some of the cornstarch has stuck and burned to the bottom surface of the wok. I use a squeeze bottle to add only a small amount of water at a time, and then I use my wok spatula to scrape off this burnt materials. I call this method spot cleaning because you clean the wok right on the spot. In fact, it is almost like steam cleaning because as soon as you add the water to the wok, it starts to turn into steam. And by adding only a small amount of water at a time, you do not dilute the flavor of the dish. In fact, what I'm doing is that I am creating a very light sauce. This method actually is very similar to a cooking technique known as degreasing. And with a few quick stir, the dish is done. As I mentioned earlier, the total cook time is only about 5 minutes. I consider this cooking approach as a template. You can use this same template for stir frying, say, squid or octopus. Now, this cuttlefish has been frozen previously. When I have cuttlefish in my friend's apartment in Hong Kong, his wife used fresh cuttlefish. I can tell the difference between fresh and frozen cuttlefish, but this golden fresh is not bad at all. So when I went to that Asian Chinese supermarket, I bought about 2 pounds of cuttlefish. I refreeze them in about 6-ounce portion. This will give me 6 meals, and I can cook them in different combinations of vegetables. One important advantage of my fast cooking system is it allows me to explore and try different new ingredients. And with template-based cooking, it gives me the opportunity to use something that I'm familiar with and apply it to something new. This makes home cooking interesting, and you will be never bored with what you cook. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. It is practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you want to learn more about my cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.